As a police officer, you know there's always something, you know there's danger. Something could happen as soon as you walk out of the station, out your front door. I mean, there's always a target on it. It's not, you know, you don't always go with a negative mentality, but you always have to be prepared for something. Well, when I was young, I always knew I wanted to help in some way, and I wanted to help kids. I wanted to work with the juvenile system, but when I worked with the juveniles and the kids at after school programs, I realized there was something more that, you know, that was affecting them. So that's when I decided to become a police officer. The best part is when you actually get to see people that have changed their life around, or that they even tell you you made a difference in their day, you made a difference with what you do, and that they're thankful for your job and for your service. My favorite thing to do is to exercise. I love to run and I love to cook. So more than anything, my favorite thing was to run. So I was at the office doing paperwork, laughing, of course, at my coworkers, and then I remember the call came up. So I went to the highway and I did what I always do, you know, just I saw the object. I tried to get it out of the roadway, but unfortunately, that's when the hit happened.
So it started off like any other patrol shift. It was my regular shift. And when I went in, we have these boards that show what all calls that we have going on and then where each officer is. And I saw that she was up on the highway with a road hazard, a traffic hazard. And then as soon as I was walking out of the police department, that's when they came over the radio and said there was an officer down. I was just begging with God for it not to be her, but I knew it was.
The day of the accident, I actually never lost consciousness. When I got hit, the hit somehow threw me to the grass, so I picked up my legs, and that's when I saw that. I was like, oh, there's one missing. But at the time, I was in shock. There's adrenaline running, so all I could think of, well, I got to save what I have left, and that's why I just decided to move and crawl to the highway towards the lights. So I crawled up the embankment, started waving down people for help, and sure enough, a nurse stopped out, a family stopped out to help me, and that was great because they were there until my husband and the rest of our shift got there to help us out.
So when I pulled up on scene, the highway wasn't even shut down yet. We all kind of pulled up at the same time. I blocked one of the lanes of the highway, got out and started walking over to her, and initially I thought, she's dead. I've never seen anybody survive a hit on the highway, get hit by a car and survive. Never seen it. And I've been doing this 16 years.
I really thought I was going to die. Before they loaded me into the ambulance, I wanted to say my prayers. Just as a Christian, you always want to say your prayers. So I was like, well, I need to say my prayers before I die. One of the passerbys that stopped out, actually, she held my hand and started praying with me out loud. Said I died there. Had my shift not gotten there and I had died, I was glad that somebody was there holding my hand.
So I thought I was going to walk up and just see her dead. And I walked up, I saw her leg laying in the roadway. And then I looked over and she was talking to somebody. She was laying on the ground talking. And I said, oh my God, she's alive. So I went over to her, knelt beside her, started talking to her, just trying to keep her awake and keep her mind off of what was going on, because we were having to put tourniquets on, and tourniquets are very, very painful. And I knew she was already in a lot of pain because she was missing a leg. Her left leg was mangled. Her right arm was completely filleted open. So I just started talking to her, saying, you've got to fight. You have to fight.
I honestly thought, I was like, well, this is it. I said my prayers. I said I love you to my husband. He'll tell my family. So I honestly didn't think I was going to wake up the next day. Well, 2 days later. But then from there, I just started asking questions like, hey, is there my friends here, my family? And that's when I found out it went all over the news, and then there was a lot of people wanting to see me and talk to me. So I was like, okay, well, I was like, I need to start somewhere. So first I had to get my rest, and then from there, little by little, started seeing people, talking to them, talking about the accident, reading news clips, watching the news. I just wanted to know what was going on.
People brought us food, blankets, pillows, anything we needed. If I needed clothes, they would come to the house, grab clothes for me, take them up there. People did everything for us. We didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was focus on getting her better and just being by her side. I just didn't want to leave until I knew she was going to be okay.
There was a fundraiser they put on. It was a motorcycle ride. I heard about it. I was actually still in the hospital. I heard briefly about it. I know my husband was there.
And I left her side while she was in the hospital to go to that because I wanted to be there and thank everybody that was there.
I was very happy to know that people were doing that for me, and especially that the sorority volunteered, that they were very happy to go out there and help. So that was very nice of them.
So I took 6 months off after the accident to take care of her. And I just went back to work a couple of weeks ago. So I've been back for 2 weeks now. You know, I drive her most of the places. She just started driving on her own, but I have to get her wheelchair in and out of the car. It's too big and bulky and heavy for her to be able to do on one leg right now. Help her get things around the house. Getting in the closet's kind of tough for her, so sometimes I'll go in there and get her clothes out for her. But as far as having to do a lot for her, she's gotten a lot stronger. She's very, very independent, and she wants that independence back, which helps me going back to work because I know that she's going to be fine.
One of our cousins' choir show, and they were honoring first responders and military. We went to, my husband and my family and I went to a game for first responders, a baseball game for first responders. So it's really nice to go to all these events now. Like I said, it's a different perspective to where, wow, like, you know, I need to take advantage. You know, I need to really appreciate what people do for us. And, you know, it's nice to know that they think about us, that there's always more good than bad. On a bad day, I just think back to where everything's done for me, that if they haven't given up, why should I give up? You know, for some reason I was chosen for this. I thought about going back to a desk job in the meantime, but then I said, no, I'll go back to work when I'm capable to go back to patrol, be on the streets. That's where I want to be back to. So, but no, I haven't thought about another option, just probably because that's one of my main goals. Every day is different. It's 4 times a week for an hour physical therapy, and then twice a week it's occupational therapy, and that's for my wrist and my arm, my right arm. We were doing a lot of hip exercises, strength exercises, more than core, strong core, and hip flexors on my right hip. And that's all to prepare for the prosthetic whenever I do we get to that step. At the inpatient facility, I've gone to visit my therapist, and they're just amazed at seeing me because back then, I mean, I was, you know, stitches and bruised, and now they see me and I'm, you know, standing on one leg, giving them hugs, actually able to move my right arm. My therapist also, they're amazed at how long I can stand on my leg. So I'll definitely, you know, start running again. I do want to be a part of a triathlon, do the running part, of course, you know, one step at a time. I do want to do that, get back to running, get back to work more than anything. That's a big priority for me. I don't think I would use the word brave. I don't think I'm brave for doing what I do. It's something that I chose to do because I wanted to help people. I wanted to do something for my community, and I want them to still know that I want to go back and keep serving them and thank them for what they did for me during the accident.
Of course she's brave. She wouldn't have been out in the middle of a highway trying to get debris out of there to prevent somebody from dying, getting in an accident. It was an enormous grill that she was trying to pull out of the road, and extremely heavy. And she didn't even wait for backup. She just said, I've got to get this out of the way. Somebody's going to die. And she put herself in harm's way for that. That's extremely brave. It's hard to even describe how blessed we feel now that she's even still here. Every day that we get together is an extra day that God let me have her. So it's amazing.